What's up, all my movie loving maniacs? This is your boy Bankful B, and this is part two of the Lassiter Factor Awards. With the Oscars coming this weekend, I thought now was a good time to finally give you my special superlative awards to everything I watched last year. I already gave you part one, so this is part two, so let's continue. First is the award for Best Musical Sequence in a Movie, and I got two different choices here. My runner-up is from the movie The Life of Chuck, in which I'm talking about that dance sequence in which Tom Hiddleston's character, he just starts dancing out of nowhere to the drums playing, and they all just start dancing together. They got a crowd going. To me, that was one of the best parts of the movie right there. But the winner for this award goes to I Lied to You by Mouse Kenton from the movie Sinners. If you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Need I say more as to why this particular sequence gets this award? Next is the award for Best Needle Drop in a Movie, and I only have one winner for this one, and the winner goes to Beware of Darkness from the beginning of the movie Weapons. If you've seen this movie, you know exactly about this song, and I think it just sums up perfectly with where the song was placed, in which all the kids, they wake up at 2:17 in the morning, just started Naruto running out the house while this song is playing. To me, this is probably one of the best needle drops I heard in a movie last year. Next is the award for Best Needle Drop heard during the end credits of a movie, and I have four different choices for this one. First, you have the song Emotion by Samantha Sang featuring the Bee Gees, which was heard during the end credits of Companion. And if you've seen that movie, you know exactly why that song was just perfect. I just remember hearing the song at the end credits of this movie. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that one. In fact, Destiny's Child did a cover of it. Next is I by Kendrick Lamar, which was heard during the end credits of Captain America Brave New World. And as a Marvel fan and a Kendrick Lamar fan, this one touched my spirit. Next is literally any song by Nine Inch Nails in the Tron Ares soundtrack. Just pick one, and any one of them is a winner. I just chose the whole soundtrack because this whole movie was just a giant music video, let's be honest. But the winner here is Punk Rocker by the Teddy Bears, which was heard during the end credits of Superman, and that was just a perfect song for that movie because of who Superman is, and he's just a good person. And then there's this whole thing about that's the real punk rock, and James Gunn, he has some damn good taste in music. Just don't overwhelm the movie with your needle drops. But otherwise, this is one of those needle drops that just worked. Next is the award for a movie's success that has me worried about the future of Hollywood, and I have two different choices about that. A runner-up is James Gunn's Superman, because I do think that this was a very good start for a new DC universe, but at the same time, I'm praying that things just do not go wrong after the success of this movie. I hope Warner Brothers who knows what's going to happen with this Warner Brothers and Paramount deal, and if James Gunn's going to stay on, but either way, I just hope Warner Brothers just stay the fuck back and let James Gunn cook. But the winner of this award is going to go to How to Train Your Dragon, the live action movie, which I still have not seen and don't plan to because, one, I do like the animated How to Train Your Dragon movies, but they've never been movies that I've been a super fan of, and so why would I go see the live action version? And plus, it does look good, admittedly, but at the same time, I heard that this movie did make a decent amount of money, and I just hope DreamWorks just doesn't start their own trend of making live action versions of their own catalog, which Disney is already doing. I just hope that they're basically just not copying what Disney's doing. Just stick to animated movies. Y'all do not need to do this. However, I am curious about a live action version of The Road to El Dorado and The Prince of Egypt. Mainly The Prince of Egypt, because I'm just curious to see how they will pull that off. Next is the award for Best Franchise Comeback, and I have two choices for that, but there's only one winner. But the runner-up was Final Destination Bloodlines, which was in a way a relaunch of the Final Destination franchise after it has been dormant for, I guess, 15 years or 14 years. The last one came out in 2011, I believe. But this was a good return to form for the franchise, and it was a damn good, fun movie. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. But the winner for this award is going to go to DC Studios for how they bought Creature Commandos, and then Superman, and then Peacemaker Season 2. Like I said, this was a good start for a new DC universe after they tried and failed everything with Zack Snyder's DC universe, and then it became a DC universe without Zack Snyder. Just Warner Brothers was just struggling trying to get their own universe out the ground, and now they finally got it right. And like I said, Warner Brothers, back the fuck off. Let James Gunn cook. Next is the award for Best Movie That You Forgot About, and the winner for that is going to go to Companion, which came out in January of last year. In fact, the very end of January, and I just really love watching this movie in the theater. This movie took me on an adventure that I did not expect. It went in ways that I did not expect, and definitely one of my top 10 favorites of last year. And it's just too bad that it came out in January, because I think a lot of people forgot about it throughout the rest of last year. Next is the award for movie that didn't get enough attention, and I have a couple of choices for that one. First, you have The Roses, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman, and this was a pretty fucked up movie, but it was a fun fucked up movie that came out in late August and people forgot about very quickly. So seriously, if you have not watched this one, I highly recommend it. And there's Materialist, which was directed by the same woman that made Past Lives a few years ago. But I honestly like this one more than the other one. I like this one because it had something to say about the current dating pool and how relationships work and how people operate in relationships, and some good performances by both Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. There's the new Spike Lee joint, Highest to Lowest, which was also released in August of last year and was hardly in theaters. I had to go to a non-AMC theater just to see this, and then it was released on Apple Plus a month later. And let's be honest, this is not Spike Lee's best, but it's still pretty decent. I just wish more people knew about it and talked about it. But the winner for movie that didn't get enough attention is Eternity, which stars Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, and Cullum Turner. And I thought this was a very sweet and touching movie about the afterlife and who you want to spend eternity with. Your former lover who died in the war, or your husband who you spent most of your life with. And seriously, if you have not seen this, I highly recommend it. Again, with awards about movies that didn't get enough attention, this is the award for a movie you didn't watch, and by that I mean that is reflected in the box office. And the winner for that is Roofman, which ended up being in my top 10 favorite movies of last year. I just love the ride this took me on. I just love really bizarre crime stories, and it was a little bit more comedic, and the performances here were great. If you have not seen this one, I highly recommend it. Next is the award for a movie that gave me exactly what I asked for, and I have two choices for this. Tron Ares, in which, I've hoped for much better from this movie, but overall, this movie just gave me more of the same from the first two movies. Granted, it's just a little bit more suckier than the first two movies, but at the end of the day, I can still put this movie on and vibe with, just the aesthetic, the music, and just the overall vibe of this movie. But the award for best movie that gave me exactly what I asked for is Now You See Me. Honestly, I don't understand the hate that these movies get. I mean, what did you expect? They're heist movies with magicians. And the last award that I will cover for this particular part of this award show is the End of an Era Award. And this award is going to go to Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, in which it is the very last Mission Impossible movie, or at least the last one with Tom Cruise. I don't know what's going to become of this franchise. Do I believe that this is the last one? Not really, but did I feel like it was a good and at least fair send-off to Tom Cruise's tenure with this franchise? Absolutely. Thank you, Tom Cruise, for giving us 30 years of you doing crazy-ass stunts for these movies. We salute you. To me, this is definitely one of the best action franchises. Granted, some of the movies in this series are better than others, but hey. But that's it for part 2 of the Lassiter Factor Awards. Be on the lookout for part 3. What did you think of the awards? Did you think I awarded the right movies for some of these awards? And what would you award certain movies? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.